You know something that's always interested me? Lost media. Lost media is stuff like, well, anything really. It's hard to access or flat out lost. It's most of the time it's lost. And when Nick has an IP as big as SpongeBob SquarePants, then of course something in the mix will get lost over the years. In this video, it's not all about just every single lost media piece of SpongeBob, because in general, I personally like having a mediocre sleep schedule and now replacing my 4 hours of sleep with writing, editing, and recording my high-ass pitched voice. So instead of covering all of this, I'll just cover the 10 lost episodes that are actually real, not just shit-ass creepypastas that play out like this. It was 4 a.m. on Discord, and all of a sudden a virus showed up and it showed us SpongeBob killing Squidward. And then he died. First things first, join the solid SpongeBob Discord, because if you're into stuff like this, you won't regret joining that Discord, because it's pretty much all about this type of stuff and a lot more. And second, thank you very much to the SpongeBob Encyclopedia for documenting all of this stuff that I'm reading it off pretty much. But now it is time for the lost episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. The first two episodes we're talking about are named Portal's Origins and SpongeBob's Origins. And I'm talking about Portal's Origins because it was listed on the encyclopedia first. And from what I read, it was an episode about Portal's origin and her mother's identity. The script was apparently written, but ended up getting cancelled on the grounds that Hillenburg never wanted Portal's mother's identity to be revealed. And also, Vincent Waller said some stuff about the episode on Twitter. But for SpongeBob's episode, in a Q&A, the writer and storyboarder Richard Purcell wrote stories for both the scripts, or he wrote both scripts pretty much. And SpongeBob's Origins, it went to depth about how SpongeBob got his square shape. Apparently, SpongeBob was a wonkily shaped beta cuck male sponge, but then got taken out to sea by the Cyclops in the first movie and then cut into a Giga Chad square sponge. And then he probably escaped or something, but it was also cancelled because Hindenburg not wanting the origin of an episode like that. My guess being how he decided SpongeBob was always a kitchen sponge, or at least was a square-shaped sponge since birth. SpongeBob Invader Pants and Krabs Army entered production around season 9 per se, and they were announced in 2014, just around the time the writing staff went over to write Sponge Out of Water, the SpongeBob movie. And since they pretty much migrated from the show to the movie, that means the episodes kind of got shelved. And on September 14th, 2015, Vince Wallace said that indeed these episodes aren't just shitpost creepypastas and are actually existent. But he claimed the crew thought their plots were not good enough to be full finished production episodes. Then on July 19th, 2017, Vincent Wallace said SpongeBob Invader Pants didn't go past the storyboard phase. And he also said that those boards were, quote, locked away, like the Rugrats storyboard jam. But the boards for SpongeBob were not going to be made into new episodes. Then on July 5th, 2018, he said that the voices were never recorded. And then Casey Allinger in a Q&A said that SpongeBob was about aliens winding up at the Krusty Krab and wanting to buy a Krabby Patty, but Mr. Krabs saying no because he doesn't like the money they're paying with. And then the aliens get upset, so they fucking uproot the Krusty Krab from the ground just to get SpongeBob to make them a Krabby Patty. That is the greatest episode plot of all time. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is, by the way, all of the stuff that I have read off to you, I'm pretty sure most of it's for SpongeBob, not Krabs Army. So either Krabs Army was just a different title for the episode, or for all I know, Krabs Army just didn't get far, and also the audio was never recorded. That's all I know. And spoiler alert, SpongeBob is one of the most SpongeBob. All the stuff we know about it is one of the more like fully pledged, well-known episodes from all the 10 unproduced ones. But yeah, that was SpongeBob and not really Krabs Army. Hey, that was SpongeBob for you. An episode called Krusty Krab Bed and Breakfast was listed on Nickelodeon's Poland site map. When Vince Waller was asked, he said the episode was gonna be produced, but just not called Krusty Krab Bed and Breakfast. But no Bed and Breakfast episode has ever publicly aired on Nickelodeon. So yeah, we clearly know that. So yeah, we probably just by the title could have got a rough ass outline. Like if I had to make a rough guess, it'd probably be something like Mr. Krabs live in the hotel, but the locals can go and eat and stay there for breakfast. And in typical SpongeBob fashion, something that happens that ends up making the hotel close down. And according to Vincent Waller, an episode called Pineapple Planet the show, and that's fucking it. I mean, that sounds like a fun fact I'd give him a Nickelodeon early 2000s website.
Hey, kind of editor's note, we're Leap still. There was an episode called Pineapple Princess that I tried to read off the entire script, which, I'm sorry, I tried to read off that entire script and I just completely butchered that thing into an oblivion. I'm not reading that again. Like, I have the audio recording, I'm probably going to put it somewhere online, but as for now in this video, I'm just going to send you a link to the, encyclopedia to read it off there instead if you really want to know, because my description of the episode I gave off was horrendous.
SpongeBob premiered in 1999, but it was pitched Nickelodeon in 1997 with this pitch Bible, or as I'll call it, the pitch book. Because calling a book that was used to pitch a funny square a Bible, calling that a Bible, is ridiculous to me, so I just call it a pitch book instead. Anyways, this was actually found a bit ago completely online, and it just had the gist of what SpongeBob was, some artwork featuring key locations, and possible plots for the thing that the pilot would end up becoming. And a bunch of those things that were listed either turned into episodes like Leaf Blower, Jellyfishes, Squeaky Boots, etc., or it actually became the pilot called Help Wanted. But within all those mentions of what a possible pilot could be, there were 3 entire unused episodes. Some of these sodas involved SpongeBob drinking the Krusty Krab soda stock, even when Mr. Krabs tells him not to. And then SpongeBob keeps doing it, and then he starts to float up and breaks through the ceiling. And then Squidward needs to hide SpongeBob from Mr. Krabs' employees who are checking in on the Krusty Krab today for some bizarre-ass reason. This episode involves Mr. Krabs transforming the Krusty Krab into a giant ship that can shoot barnacle burgers. Oh yeah, side note, barnacle burgers are just a prototype name for Krabby Patties. And while Krabs, Squidward, and SpongeBob go around making portable diabetes a new epidemic, the same thing goes around making a fucking submarine to run Mr. Krabs on business. And then the two start having an epic anime battle where they shoot Big Macs and red shit at each other. But Plankton surrenders because he ran out of ammo. And now it's the entire episode. In this episode, Patrick tries to get this Trumba kit because he wants to have a cool hat like SpongeBob. And then Plankton tries to use Patrick to get the Krabby Patty secret formula. And as a result, Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob and Squidward not to even be affiliated with Patrick at all, even when work ends, anywhere, any time of the day, damn. No more friendship between SpongeBob and Patrick. And I'm guessing at the end of the episode they would have resolved it and then end credits roll again. As a conclusion, it's often to see episodes of SpongeBob that were nearly made, but something got fucked in the process. And I think it's a good thing that something like Pineapple Princess died as an episode, because it was awful to read, and I'm pretty sure it would have been just as bad as an episode considering it was season 8. But this has been Christopher Greatness. I hope you enjoyed this video.